Please note the content of this podcast and this particular series is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute as medical advice. Please consult a licensed healthcare professional for guidance. Now on to the podcast. Hello again and welcome back to Witchy Ways for Modern Days. This is Brittany from Winslow Naturals and I am so very honored to be here with you for this episode. I think this is probably going to be my favorite of the shadow work series. It's a very personal, very close topic to my heart, this particular section of the work. So we've been doing a deep dive into shadow work. This is going to be episode 4 of 8. We've been uncovering hidden layers of the self, and today we will be exploring the place where so much, the majority of this shadow energy gets stored. The body. So, if you have ever found yourself saying things like, I don't know why I feel this way, or I thought I already healed this, I can't think my way out of this pain. If you've said sentences like that, then you are what I would consider to be on the threshold of somatic shadow work. So, in today's episode, I want to talk about a few different things. I want to talk about how unprocessed emotion and trauma can live in the body. I want to talk about the difference between intellectual and embodied healing, which I know those two terms sound really complicated. They're not as complicated as they sound, so just bear with me. Give me some time to explain. I want to talk about some signs that your body is holding on to shadow work and shadow content. Want to discuss some somatic practices that you can use to help release that stored pain. And most importantly, I want to talk about how you can reconnect with your body and see your body as an ally and not an enemy. So let's light a candle, maybe grab an oil or a favorite crystal, and let's get into it. Let's start with a truth I think that many of us feel even before we can actually understand it. The body remembers what the mind forgets. So that phrase, I've had that phrase like in my notes app in my phone for years at this point. It was popularized by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk in his book, The Body Keeps the Score, which is very much like an expert book on somatic injury, on PTSD, CPTSD, any sort of complex trauma. So that phrase was popularized by him, right? But this is something that witches, mystics, and even indigenous healers have known for centuries. This is not new information. It's just perhaps new to the general population. So when we experience trauma, whether that is a big trauma or small, whether it's acute or chronic, our body stores that memory. But, so here's the thing. It doesn't store it like a file folder that is on like a desktop. It doesn't say, March 2004, Dad yelled at me. It's not like that. It stores that as tension in the shoulders, tightness in the chest. It can store it as like a sudden nausea anytime someone around you raises their voice. It could be flinching when you're touched unexpectedly. These shadows, this trauma, this ingrained trauma, becomes affected posture. It becomes a breath pattern, chronic fatigue, illness, headaches. So your shadow is not just psychological. It's not. It is actually physiological as well. So our shadow work affects everything. Yes, it's going to affect your psyche, but your body and how it reacts to the shadow is just as important. So we live in a culture that likes to glorify thinking our way through everything, right? We can journal, we analyze things, we talk, we intellectualize. So all of these things are helpful. They are. I'm not disputing that. So they're helpful to a point. But something that I wish more people knew, or more people agreed with, is that you can't fully integrate a shadow that you refuse to feel. So this is where most people get stuck. They'll say, oh, I've done inner work, I've done inner child work, I've done therapy. Yes, but you're only really working from the neck up. Yes, cognitive behavioral therapy, even like an EMDR experience, like those things do help significantly. But the majority of that work happens in the mind. The body has to be included, and we forget that a lot of the time. So you might understand that you have an abandonment wound. So intellectually, you know, I have a problem with being abandoned. But your nervous system will still panic when someone doesn't text you back. Your mind might not have too much of an issue. Your mind might be able to say, yeah, well, they're busy. They're busy, they'll get to me. Your body, though, doesn't understand what the mind knows. It doesn't understand logic. The body stores emotion. That's where the shadow is. So you might know like your self-worth isn't defined by what you do, yet your body will still get sick every time you rest, every time you do something that somewhere in your subconscious you have deemed to be frivolous, I guess, for lack of a better word, something that is meaningless and something that doesn't help you overall. Like taking like a lazy day, for example, taking a lazy day, taking a rest day. A lot of people feel shame over that. You might be able to, through therapy or whatever work on your own, you might be able to work through that and come to an understanding that, yes, I feel a little bit lazy when I do this, but I really do need a rest day. Your body is still freaked out by it, though. If you did not work with it, didn't do any somatic work, it's still going to be a problem. So the nervous system, the muscles, your breath, they all hold on to the old programming until we are able to teach them safety again. Okay, so some common physical signs that your shadow is asking for attention through your body. This is not an exhaustive list, okay? This is a short list. So these might be signs that your shadow is starting to surface. Sudden body aches with no clear cause. Fatigue after an emotionally intense conversation. Throat tightness when you're trying to speak your opinion or speak a truth. IBS, stomach cramps, nausea linked to anxiety, could be shaking, it could be dizziness, dissociation when you're triggered, could be insomnia when you're processing past events. Speaking from personal experience, you could develop a condition, an autoimmune condition, or perhaps like a fibromyalgia. Those are ailments that are brought forth by unprocessed trauma and unprocessed shadow. That is the root cause of them. So even random, quote unquote, random injuries or chronic pain conditions can sometimes be messengers. Okay, this is please note, I am not saying every one of those things I just mentioned is psychosomatic. Medical issues are very real. So please, please, please don't take me at these aren't real. Everything is shadow work. No. Medical conditions do exist. I'm just naming examples of possibilities. So yeah, the medical issues can be real. But shadow work invites us to ask, what is this sensation in the body trying to tell me? What is it trying to communicate with me? By doing or becoming or having any of these things, your body is not betraying you. It might feel like it is, but it's not betraying you. It's actually trying to speak truth to you. So how do we begin to work with the body instead of against it? So we can start by shifting our relationship to the body. So instead of controlling the body, we're going to listen to it. Instead of trying to resent the body, we're going to honor the wisdom it shows us. And instead of trying to force a healing, we're going to create a safety space, a safe space, a safety net for it to unfold and heal itself. So one of my absolute favorite quotes that I keep in my phone, and I have to look at it periodically, I really do, is, your body does not need to be fixed. It needs to be felt. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Your body does not need to be fixed. It needs to be felt. So here are some accessible ways to begin integrating the body into your shadow work practice. And side note, I am so proud of those of you who have started this journey with me and who have been periodically sending me updates about how their own work is doing. I am beyond happy that I am able to help at all with this, and I appreciate any and all updates, and that's so very kind. And if there's anything that you need me to adjust, please let me know, or things that you want me to kind of elaborate on. I can certainly try my best to do so. All right, side note over. Apologies. All right, so here are going to be some ways that we are going to begin integrating the body and the shadow. Number 1. A grounding body scan, or a daily check-in scan. So you're going to sit or you're going to lie down. Close your eyes. You are going to slowly bring an awareness to the body. So first I want you to start from ground up. So start with being very aware of your feet. Then your ankles, legs into the hips, your belly, chest, into your arms, into your jaw, into your skull. As you scan each section of the body, you're going to be continually asking yourself, what do I feel here? What emotion might be living here? Don't try to fix it. Don't try to question whatever pops up. I just want you to notice things that might pop up with that question. I want you to do this for about 5 minutes a day. Doesn't really matter if it's morning or night, just whenever works for you. Over time, you will start to learn the language of your body's cues, because each of our bodies has its own distinct language. And the problem with having a distinct, unique language, let's say, for each person is we are never taught to learn or listen to it, because no one else can understand it but us. So I want you to try to learn the language of your body's cues. It's quite important. Number 2, somatic breath work. So the breath is truly like a bridge between your body and your psyche, your body and your soul. So this is super easy. So I want you to try to do a very deep belly breath. It's going to be that inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Or if that does not work for you, you're going to do 3 rounds of sighing out loud, very heavy sighs, like 3 times. Not going to do that. That might be annoying for people. So 3 times. So you're going to be using your breath that way to move energy in the body when you feel energetically stuck. Number 3 is actually kind of, I think it might be my favorite of these. It's called sacred shaking, or at least that's what I call it, sacred shaking. So have you noticed after an animal has some sort of trauma or something happens to it, gets knocked over, does something, they tend to shake before continuing on? So that's how they release stored tension. It's just an innate thing that happens for them. We can do it too. We can totally do it too. So you can put on music. You can shake your hands, your arms, shoulders, your whole body. You could also let your voice move too. So you could exhale. You could cry at the same time if you need to. You could. The remainder of this podcast can be purchased at our Patreon, Witchy Ways for Modern Days.